In a word, shattered by disasters and wars, the cities laid in ruins. The sky was grey and the air was heavy with the scent of decay among the remnants of civilization. Survivors struggled to stay alive, scavenging for food and shelter. Hope was a rare commodity, and trust even rarer. A young woman named Joy lived alone in a crumbling warehouse on the edge of a deserted city. She had long, dark hair and eyes that still held a spark of resilience. Despite the hardness around her, every day was a battle against hunger and loneliness. She had learned to fend for herself, but the weight of isolation pressed heavy on her heart. One cold evening, as the sun disappeared behind the horizon, Joy sat by a small fire trying to warm herself. Hunger snarled at her stomach. It had been days since she had eaten anything substantial. Absent minded, she ran her fingers through her tangled hair, seeking some comfort. Suddenly, she felt a sharp warmth in her scalp, and to her amazement, strands of her hair began to change, turning into gold grains of rice that slipped through her fingers and scattered on the dusty floor. Surprised, Joy stared at the rice, unsure if she was dreaming. She packed up a grain and tasted it. It was real rice, plain and simple. A mixture of fear and wonder filled her. She pulled another strand of her hair. This time it became a ripe, juicy berry. The sweet taste confirmed that this was no illusion. Over the next few days, Joy explored her new ability with careful excitement. She discovered she could transform her hair into different kinds of food, fruit, bread, even pieces of meat. The possibilities seemed endless, but she knew she had to be cautious in this world. A gift like hers could be dangerous if the wrong people found out. One day, while gathering supplies, Joy noticed a group of weary survivors approaching the warehouse. Leading them was Malak, a tall man with kind eyes that hid the pain of hardship. They looked exhausted and hungry. Joy felt torn between fear and compassion. She had avoided others for so long, but touched them, touched her heart. Something about them touched her heart. Summoning her courage, she stepped out of the shadows. I can help you, she said softly. Malaka and his group looked at her with suspicion, but also with hope. We don't mean any harm, he replied. We're just trying to find food. Joy nodded. I understand. She reached up, pulled a strand of her hair, and concentrated. It transformed into a loaf of bread right before their eyes. Gasps of astonishment filled the air. How did you do that? Malachi asked, amazed. It's a gift, she answered. I want to share it with you. They accepted her offer gratefully as they ate. Joy felt warmth spreading her chest, not just from the food, but from the connection with others. Malachi approached her after the meal, thanked her. He said, you've given us more than just food. You've given us hope. She smiled for the first time in a long time. I'm glad I could help. But we have to be careful, he warned. There are those who will take advantage of your gifts. She knew he was right. I'll keep it a secret. She promised. Perhaps we can protect each other. Malachi suggested, join us. Joy hesitated. The idea of companionship was appealing, but she was afraid of the risk. Still, she felt a sense of belonging she hadn't felt before. All right, she said. She agreed. They formed a small community, working together to survive. Joy provided food, and the others contributed their skills. They repaired part of the warehouse, making it more livable. They laughed, shared stories, and slowly the shadows of despair began to lift. However, whispers began to spread. Other survivors noticed their improved condition. Rumors of hidden supplies or miracles reached the ears of Regina, the ruthless leader of the Scarlet Vultures, a gang that controlled the area. Through fear, Regina became determined to uncover their secret. One afternoon, Joyce saw a starving dog scavenging for scraps. Her heart ached for the creature. Without thinking, she transformed a strand of her hair into a piece of meat and offered it to the dog. Unknown to her, one of Regina's scouts was watching from a distance. That night, Joy was ambushed by Regina's men. They captured her and took her to Regina, who looked at her with cold, calculating eyes. So, you are the one with magic hair, Regina sneered. Joy met her gaze without flinching. I am not magic, she said, but I won't help you. Regina's smile turned into a scowl. Oh, you will, or your friends will pay the price. Back at the warehouse, Malachi and the others realized Joy was missing. Fear and determination drove them to act. They devised a plan to rescue her, risking everything. They infiltrated Regina's lair, facing danger at every turn. They found Joy and freed her, but not before others witnessed her abilities. With their secret exposed, they knew they couldn't stay hidden. We have to stand up, Malachi declared. Joy agreed. We can't let Regina terrorize anyone else. They reached out to other communities, sharing their story and offering help together. They formed an alliance, united by the desire for freedom and peace. They prepared for the battle ahead, strengthening their defenses and training to fight Joy using her powers to grow plants that formed natural herbs, vines, and roots that could hinder their enemies. When Regina's forces attacked, the united communities were ready. The battle was fierce, but the strength of their unity prevailed. In the midst of the chorus, Joy confronted Regina. I won't let you harm anyone anymore, she said firmly. Regina laughed. You think you can stop me alone? I'm not alone, Joy replied, as Malachi and others stood behind her. Together, they overpowered Regina, ending her reign of terror. In the aftermath, they forced a rebuilding. They healed the land, planting seeds that would grow into crops. The barren landscape began to blossom. Laughter and song returned to the lives of the people. Joy continued to share her gifts not just by providing food, but by teaching others how to cultivate the earth. One evening, Joy and Malachi stood watching the sunset, painting the sky with vibrant colors. Look at what we've built, Malachi said. His voice filled with pride. It's beautiful. Joy whispered, we have shown that together we can create something good. What's next for us? He asked. She smiled. There's a whole world out there that needs healing. We'll keep going, sharing hope wherever we can. Words of their victory spread, inspiring others to join them. Communities began to work together, following their example. Joy's ability became a symbol of what was possible when people united. Reflecting on her journey, Joy realized that her true gift was not just the food she could create, but the hope and courage she inspired in others. In a world once consumed by darkness, they had ignited the light that will guide them towards a brighter future. I've come to the end of this amazing story. Thank you for staying tuned. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and turn on your bell button.